Y'all hear me?
Manners and respect, family.
As y'all have seen throughout the day, we are a people. It's not that difficult to see. The brothers and sisters brought this together to show a nation of people in a small community here in Sacramento. That's what Garvey was about. Building communities. He said African communities lead.
Yep.
So, if you're not building an African community, you're not really supporting the UNIA. When we see red, black, and green, we hear it, we fly it. And we say liberation flag. What does that mean? Liberation in law means to null and void the contract. So when you fly the red, black, and green, you're declaring war against the United States of America for a breach of contract. And we need to really understand that. That's why Garvey is pushed away from the mainstream people the way he is. Because Garvey declared war. And at the same time applied for American citizenship. And said, this American government has treated us better than anybody else, and we must get our citizenship so that we can change this American government. So you seen politicians come before you today, excellent. You seen the brother come before you about reparations, working within the government to get what we need as resources, as a nation of people. As I spoke with him, Garvey addressed certain things as far as nationhood. Who are we as a people? They have named us all kind of names throughout the Caribbean and Africa. And we go by it. We'll say we're some nut or we're some river as if we are what they say we are. Niger is what some French and English woman decided to say that's the name of these countries. We have been denationalized. And they use Garvey's organizational structure to do it in this time. So the question Garvey gave to us was, what value did you have? You as a people, but you as an individual. How do you use that value to build communities? You see it. You see it today. Everybody came and gave a demonstration, a presentation, their crafts, their trades, their information. This is a community. This is the start of a nation. But you have to finance it. Everything you wear have to be made by us. Everything we eat have to be grown by us. That's what Garvey came to America to learn how to do from one of us, Booker T. Washington. That's what he came here for. He took Booker T. Washington's blueprint and formed the UNIA and African Communities League. He had 25,000 members in convention for black liberation. Not for church, not for some pilgrimage to some foreign land. 25,000 people talking about our freedom. And the 25,000 people went back to their locales and they established organizations. One of them is a secret. It's called the Birmingham Improvement Association. Y'all heard of it? You have? Good. That's what started the Civil Rights Movement with Martin Luther King. Look it up. Rosa Parks was part of the Birmingham Improvement Association. That was a local department of the UNIA. Why has that been kept a secret? What has been done with the red, black, and green, the UNIA, the African Communities League? Why did Garvey have two of them? We have to look into that. In 1929, the UNIA split into two. The UNIA still exists in Cleveland. Most people don't know about it. It's ran by a football player. There's another one that most people go by, and that's the one that Garvey went against. And that was taken over by the NAACP. Sorry to say it, but that's the organization that did it. And they hijacked your civil rights movement. What do I mean? One of the brothers got up, I think his name was Jordan, he said we celebrate Black August. Why? Most of us think it's because of some things that happened prior, or should I say after Garvey. No, Garvey declared August as the month for convention. It's International African Month. This is the Money Ad Convention. And the first is the celebration of freedom in the islands. So he was keeping that tradition. But this is Black History Month for the UNIA. Who gave us February? And why? We really need to think about how the red, black, and green is used by other organizations. And they don't tell you what Garvey actually did. When he set up the African Communities League, he set up African communities in the Caribbean, in Africa. Some people say, oh, he never touched down in Africa. No, but the Negro world did. And he gave direct instructions on how we need to set up African community leagues. He established the Black Cross Nurses and the Motor Corps. Those are important because he knew we were going to war. First presentation I saw was the system on preparedness, emergency preparedness. Garvey put that in his paper. You must prepare for the war that is coming. He had just got out of World War I. He prophesied World War II, and he prophesied this war that's going to happen amongst us, that we are gearing up for. And people are scared to talk about it. But it's here. We've been at war biologically, mentally, physically, however you want to put it, spiritually, for a long time. Garvey just brought attention to it and then declared our independence from the government that everybody say is oppressing us. But after he left, or got deported, he got deported because some Jews worked within the NAACP to get him deported. This is fact, it's not speculation, this is the facts.
Sure.
So, when Garvey was deported, they took his organization. And we really need to understand why they took his organization. Look what happened to Ghana. We say Kwame Nkrumah. He went home and he established a court along with his group of other people. Ghana. Right now, if you look at Ghana economy, they're what? 5th in Africa? What would that look like with us, especially coming out of California? California is the 6th economy in the world. And the brother just came and said something about reparations. If it's a prophecy, because Garvey is seen as a prophet, that out of California, all of this will start. And we started. Really. Y'all are partaking in the start of the building of the nation that will come out of California. Sacramento City. But the prophecy is California. Sacramento is our capital. In California.
Black women.
Hey. So, now, getting to that. Garvey said the Negro need a nationality. Negro. Is that Spanish for what?
Black.
So black and Negro is the same thing. That's a mark. So if the Negro needed a nationality, Garvey was trying to move us somewhere forward. A lot of us don't understand that concept. So you'll have brothers from Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, Brazil, and other places who tried last week at the Garvey, 2 weeks ago at the Garvey presentation. We had a brother from Cabo Verde. Who was trying to explain to us nationality. We think that black is a nationality. It is a color, just like white. We'll say race is a political construct. Okay, what do we do now that we know that? We get rid of black and white and all these other colors that they put on us. Because political power is not vested in that. It's invested in nationhood. And that's what Garvey brought us, nationhood. So other nations sent their representatives to these conventions and went back and built nations. We have the ability to be within the top 10 nations in the world within the first 3 years if we just organize. Seriously. And this is what the fear is. This is what they did everything they could to take Garvey out and literally deport him out. Because it didn't take long. Garvey had a 5-year plan and they didn't let him succeed. They didn't let him finish it. Why? Because nationhood is our power. So we'll say, well, we African. Look it up. Africa is a tribe in Africa. They named the whole continent after a tribe in North Africa. So why do we keep going by what they put on us and say we free people? If we free people, why haven't we named ourselves yet? Put a name on ourselves and put a name on the land that we occupy. Occupy. Like they did occupy Wall Street. We need to occupy our communities. You have, why wait for them to say we'll give you money for a home? How did they get money for a home? Through homestead grants. But like I just talked to the brother, we'll be discussing more about how the financial reparations to take place. Without a homestead grant, you don't have any reparations. Everybody who we're competing against, if you want to, bridge the income gap, everybody who we're competing against came here, family had a homestead, 160 acres. So 40 acres is not enough for me. 40 acres plus 160, which is 200, which would be fair. But we don't understand what to ask for because we've been taught by the wrong institutions. Every people who came here as a people got 160 acres per family. We worked it and we only asked them for 40. They happy to give it to you because they know we don't understand. Then they say, we'll give you the monetary value of that, which is depreciated from the time when the 40 acres existed. Ask the people in South Carolina how that worked with their heirs' property. Look that up. They're going through problems right now because they were the people who actually got reparations and they kicked them off their land. And they still give them out their land, building golf courses. Donald Trump is a part of that. It's just the facts. Garvey set up everything that we needed. The Nation of Islam borrowed it. We don't like it. They set up a military and a sisters organization to be able to take care of the people and to protect the people. That's what we need. I was talking to, I had a Portuguese man present to me our problem. We keep getting killed by the police because we don't have our own police association. It's just that simple. They have police unions. And their police unions is for the Scottish, Italian, Portuguese, Irish, English. There is no black, you cannot have a black police union. It doesn't represent a nation. I'll say the Jamaicans can do it. That's why they're about to put a Jamaican American in office. She's not black. Do your research. Let's say, well, Jamaicans are black. No, Jamaicans got a nationality. Don't denationalize them like that. They have a nationality. They know how they're able to go to the United Nations and get funds. They are a nation with a flag. We say, well, everybody, no, that's the problem. They make us keep marking our own people with marks of servitude. Oh no, they make everybody black. She didn't get into power being black. She got into power being an Indian American. A Jamaican Indian American. She played it. And we got to understand that's a good thing for us, but not the way they making us look at it. We have a way to now interact internationally with Jamaicans and Indians. And if we know the history, the Hindus have a lot of influence in the Caribbean. Talk about economics. These people enslaved us for economics, not just because of the color of our skin. Like Garvey said, they don't hate us because of the color of our skin. They hate us because of our condition. That's what Garvey said. It's like he said, we Negroes need a nationality. So black ain't it. And as long as we keep marking ourselves as a color, we will mark ourselves as a product to be offered to foreigners, nations, who come here and set their businesses in our community because they were told in their countries and given a treaty to be able to come over here to do that, build up our ignorance. And we say it's fine, it's okay, because we have products. But we got products from our own, and we need to service our own to make sure we build our own. Garvey came in the 20s. It's before the Great Depression. Gave us the information on how to do the banking so that we can save ourselves. You look up Binga Bank, they helped so many people in Chicago save their homes. I did research on Black Wall Street in Durham. They did the same thing. These people were Garveyites, even in the church. Most of Garveyites were church people. And so that is not a reason to not be, as they say, pro-black. But again, that's been hijacked. We still going by that. Without a nationality, we can't really step to the people from Grenada on an equal footing because they know they're not black. The Nigerians know they're not black. They know they're not black. We don't. And so they come here and go to school on African American grants that we don't even take advantage of. They have taken over all the HBCUs. It's not bad for us necessarily, but you need to understand how other people are using our benefits that was set up for African Americans that are being used by others who know this benefit, are being taught this benefit in their countries. How did Kamala Harris' mother come here and go to school? Like we need to really understand geopolitics as we say we fly in the red, black, and green. Because he said Africa for the Africans at home and abroad. So that means everybody. How do we interact as a global people? And who is that global people if the Negro need a nationality? If you study Garvey, he'll tell you. He said it was one people in Africa who was fighting and had won. It was the Moroccans. Look it up. They were fighting. Brother Cram Hill up in the Rift Mountains was fighting and won in 1925. And he'd been watching, Garvey had been watching what was happening. People don't see the connection between Cram Hill and Gaddafi. That's why I mentioned when I mentioned earlier about Gaddafi in the water. Yes. Them three countries are fighting over the water that was left by Gaddafi in the Sahel because the Sahel is the Sahara and the Sahara is a lake underneath. And they fighting for the caretaking of that water. And the Arabs are funding it. And we don't have no understanding of this stuff because we're so domesticated with American policy. But we are a people. You've seen it demonstrated today. So take that with you. Excuse me. Know your value, you've seen your value. You see what value you have in your community. But what can you add to it? Like the brother, he said, what can y'all say that we need that he can produce? He the farmer. What do we need? What products do we need? Do we even know? Where's our nutritionists, our dietitians? Or are we just going by what we think? We need specialists. And Garvey honored these specialists. So y'all have everything here in Sacramento. Build it, finance it, invest in it. Spend money with your vendors, all at every event you can. But also talk to them. See how you can build their business. We'll go check the stocks and see how we can invest in theirs. But we want to invest in our own people. We don't have no stock in our own people. We just go to work and be stock for some other people. And that's a whole other story. So when you fly that red, black, and green, you know you're flying liberation. You're saying that you declare your independence from your slave master. In name, Garvey said that wasn't his name. He said that was a name given to him by his Irish slave master. That's what Garvey said. We have to read Garvey and read every book you can find on Garvey because come to the conclusion today that all the books by Garvey aren't equal. I prefer the ones by Tony Martin. If y'all really Garvey heads, Tony Martin. Find Garvey with Tony Martin's books. Find the UNIA papers. They're expensive, but it's the reason why they're expensive. Garvey lays out the whole organizational structure over the 6 or 7 years that he was running in the United States of America and abroad. If you want to know how he set up nations, that's it. He is the founder of the AU, that African Union. That's him. That was his idea, and everybody in the African Union know that. But since the United States funded, it's the only way, it's a certain way that they can talk about it. So use this red, black, and green to liberate yourself. Really. Let it be a practice in your life because you understand your value. And every time you see the people here and other people who look like you who are doing business, on behalf of you, just because they look like you don't mean they're doing business on behalf of you. This is the facts. So, research. That's why I say talk to your vendors, talk to your people. Like they say, talk to the farmer. You know where your produce is coming from? Talk to your people. Build up the business, build a relationship so that you can invest in your people. They can invest in you when you do business. And that's how you have an African community in league. That league part, I want you to just think about all the leagues that we're in now. Basketball league, baseball league, football league. The African Community League was a league. We didn't use it right. As he was going to merge with the Negro leagues, they merged them about the country. You have to understand the vision of what he was doing. He was nationalizing our organizations here in this country. He didn't even want to stay here. He came here to set up and to see Booker T. Washington, and he wanted to leave. The corruption in this country is why he stayed. He said the leaders tried to take over organization from the very beginning. And as soon as he got deported, he did it. They did it. So now that you know what this red, black, and green really stand for as far as liberation, it's law. It's a legal proclamation. When you fly the red, black, and green, it's legal. So if you get an opposition, know who your oppressor is. It's really just that simple. Know who your oppressor is. Because you liberate. Void of contract. When every time you re-sign a contract, you're renegotiating the contract. And that's a whole nother, that's business. That's what they've been doing. Business. Trading in business. So if you want to be free, you got to proclaim your nationality and practice it. And with that, I say peace and love to all. Any questions? I'll take it.